And we're live. Alright. It's been a week. A lot of fun stuff to do here. And now I can bring you guys over to the map.
Yo.
And also, it looks like a lot of it's outlined, but I've actually created a lot of dummy boxes. So, let's see here. What's a good color for me to use? There you go. So last time we left off, you guys have gone to the facility where Sebastian was raised, in an odd sense of the term.
It's filled with love.
So
Welcoming
much
him
love.
back.
And you found the Black Sun facility underneath a unassuming yet abandoned cottage. And as you guys traverse down to the depths, you found a strange, futuristic looking facility. And so far, you guys have found the lobby.
Hold on. Cats.
We're not on the screen with the map, by the way.
You should be.
Oh, let me try reloading. Okay.
Yes, the old
That
man
seems
refuses to flush the kitty cat box.
oof.
So, just to roughly show, this is where you guys entered in from. It's where you turned the power on. Where you found all the filing cabinets. The room with the computers in it that's covered in blood. And this is the hallway you guys are currently in.
Okay, so that's where the gravity well is as well, or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Kind of. The laws of gravity have changed anyway. And yeah, and you heard that strange cackling laugh. And just for reference, you guys also found a door on the other side of the observation deck. Unfortunately, the program I was using didn't have an option. This is supposed to be more of like a trapezoid shaped room, but it, at least in the grid mode I was using, didn't have an option for like setting up angles or anything like that. Only squares.
I think we missed the secret wall.
No, unfortunately, I was trying to I was messing around with different shapes, not shapes, but different widths for the grid. And despite it being supposedly half the grid size or whatever for that section, it left these weird kind of aberrations on the map. There's a few like that.
Hmm.
It's fine. I really wish I had more time to do it, but it's just been a very busy weekend, strangely. So, you guys are currently standing in a hallway. There's sheetrock to your right and left, really. And you guys are on the ceiling. And there's that the luminescent tube kind of between your feet. Unfortunately, none of you managed to crash into, so.
Thankfully.
So, what do you guys do?
We have that hallway we can go down.
Also got another door.
Yeah.
Technically we're upside down, so we've got the doorway closest to us, which would be to our right, technically, since our view is diverted, and then we have the hallway at the end. Shall we try the closest one first?
Sure.
Oh, and this will dutifully make sure to go in first to be the meat shield.
Sebastian's
Go directly.
like behind. Just keeps looking around, trying to figure out what the fuck this is.
Yeah. Last thing you remember, gravity wasn't weird when you were here, so.
There's
Alexi.
a weird mix of like nostalgia and like, oh no, what the fuck happened?
We know what the fuck happened. You had a dream of some freak, and we got laughed at when we came in here before we went whoop to the ceiling. But yeah, Fenwith looks over his shoulder for direction, and when you indicate the first room, he goes.
Alexi following very close behind. I guess we have the lantern and the torch right now, I think.
And the lights are on too.
The lights are
Yeah,
on.
everything's turned on now.
So. The
that sounds
luminescent tube is fluorescent lighting.
And making a very irritating humming noise.
It is.
A lot closer to us too.
Yeah, and it's slowly getting hot. Not too hot, but really hot. As you guys kind of make your way forward and you kind of hit the junction points, you turn to your right, left on the map, and see there's a large cafeteria, and you can actually see when you look down that the roof goes up, and this is it has about a 30-foot high roof in this large space. And we'll go ahead and reveal that. And you can see a hallway on the other side.
So if we hop into this room, we're going to fall to the ceiling or fall to the floor.
You're gonna
depending on which way
drop
gravity's
20
going.
feet to the ceiling.
and be unable to get anywhere. Except we have climbing gear, Alexi would like to remind everybody.
Its exact name is good equipment for climbing.
Oh,
Catchy.
And survival, technically, as well.
There, another way to that hallway, or do we have to go through here?
do I know what's through that hallway on the other side of the cafeteria?
Yes, so you're aware of, on the other side of the cafeteria, there is the living quarters section.
Across the way, or where the living quarters are.
And I guess for reference, you also know that over here is a hallway that leads to a solid metal door that you remember seeing a lot of, but you never saw inside of, and also access to the training facilities.
And the other direction leads towards the training area.
Where do you want to go?
He thinks on it, just we might find some sort of information in the living quarters. See who was here last.
It would probably be better to go that way anyway, since we will have to climb to go through here. Points.
That's what he was saying, to go through that area to the living quarters.
The
on
other side is the living
Yeah,
quarters.
he was agreeing with him. Oh, we are going to that side. My mistake. That's the training area.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, how is the setup? Has everything furniture-wise been moved to the ceiling by now, or is it?
No, you do see that the room is, and I guess I should have mentioned this before. The room is somewhat chaotic. The various tables are pushed to the side or toppled over. Various seats are flung around. And they're all on the proper floor.
Shame flying is out of the option.
And Finwith had the lamp to try and test when gravity swapped back and forth. Kind of drifting into that room. Does it towards the floor or still down towards the ceiling? Or up? Yes.
Yes, I understand what you mean. It kind of still has that low gravity feel to it.
And technically, flying could work. You just have to do the Peach hover maneuver as you're going across. Like, fly, don't fly, don't fly, don't fly, fly. Don't. Just kidding.
He just kind of peers down the drop, just oh, I have to climb that now.
With how it feels, do I think that I could still fly like normal? Just the oddity of it being upside down.
I mean, you don't know.
Or is the gravity
You
not
saw
quite?
you saw Sebastian turn like a top and get flung out of a room, so
Well, he also does weird shit.
that's true.
Mine's just
And
beat wings.
you might reasonably do so, but Finwith wouldn't know.
Upset noise of deliberation here.
And all the lights in this room are on, correct?
Correct. Somewhat flickering every
Just walk to the
non-periodically.
shadow under a table.
I don't think there is a shadow under a table.
The tables will have shadows under them.
It
the ones
can't
that
be
are
100% lit.
standing. Yeah.
Be careful, don't bonk your head when you like teleport under it.
The problem with that is I'm going to teleport to that floor and then drop an additional more feet because anti-gravity's going to set in.
Well, you'd be under a table, so you would just thunk into the table, which is, seeing as it's on the floor, either gravity is pulling it, like, is back to normal, or they're bolted, so, you know, a bunch of upset, horribly traumatized psychic children don't, you know, pick up a fucking table and beat somebody to death with it, like, you know, Ishtar did floating around a table.
You know they're not bolted because, as I said, some of the tables are toppled over.
Okay.
Would you like me to try?
It might just not affect objects. Your mission,
Oh.
Sebastian.
Well, we know where we're going, so Sussy will hang off the edge of the ceiling and try to drop down to the floor of the next ceiling.
Okay. As you step into the room and you kind of begin to fall towards the ceiling, I need you to make a. Is there acrobatics in this one?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, roll for me acrobatics.
$195.
Okay. Easily making the difficulty. You fall into the room, but suddenly you feel shifts as you go up. You hit kind of an apex, and then you fall to the floor, managing to still land with no harm to yourself. But gravity seems to be fine here. But something else happens. Your breath catches. And you cannot breathe. With your sudden movement in the room, you see as the air around you kind of washes over in kind of like an oily effect. And you see bubbles kind of ascend towards the ceiling.
Hand instantly goes to around his throat.
Do you guys need to breathe?
Yeah, kind of do.
Yep. They don't need their organs, but they still need to breathe for some reason.
Well, I guess it's because their bodies are entirely kept alive by blood and nothing else, and blood needs to be oxygenated, I guess.
Yeah.
Sounds
There's this, their blood still holds true.
Fantasy reasoning, you know.
Sure thing. Whatever you want, Anima.
To be fair, we've already established that their body accommodates for missing organs in strange ways.
I take a step. Does my movement feel inhibited at all?
No, it feels strangely normal. Just that every time you move, the air ripples around you like you're moving through a liquid.
Looks back at everyone else.
seeing that Anastasia are, making the obvious sign of I can't breathe.
The universal sign for choking.
He's going to use organic psychokinesis and try to pull him back in. Not going to be fun for you. I apologize. But
Okay, sure, go ahead.
okay, not a great roll, but it's fine. Didn't botch. That's what matters. Cool. I got to 140. Wait, 150 bumps up to 180. I can hold up to 1,000 pounds. Flight value of 8. 140 physical resistance to resist it.
And you can opt not to resist.
He's not resisting. He has no clue what the fuck's going on.
Fucking yanking you back.
So, you yank back at what would be a incredible sprinting speed. And as you kind of make it in, You don't feel the gravity shift until you pass everyone, falling onto the ceiling behind them. Well, first, sporadically spinning in place as Sebastian is trying to prevent you from just ricocheting against a wall. Letting go, Anasazi will drop to the ceiling next to you
He
guys.
does his best to like set them down, but that's probably not too feasible.
No, you're better off just drop it or letting it go.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult to control.
The alternative is sporadically flailing ragdoll. So
Yeah, so
Yeah, and despite Anasase's lithe figure, they're covered in heavy armor and a big ass sword. They're not something you want to bump into when they're spinning at high speeds.
no. But as you just kind of fall to the floor, Sebastian's like over you.
But you did realize two things from this this excursion. One, these effects don't seem to end at a particular line, even
makes
somewhat
sense. Super
overlapping
blurry.
each other. Granted, you don't feel the effects. Second, you learned that for some reason you cannot breathe in this other room.
was it like a gas, or what stopped you from breathing?
I just couldn't breathe. There was no air.
I don't like not having an explanation for all of this.
You're in the wrong place for explanations,
Yeah.
my friend. Suddenly, you guys begin to hear something happening on the other side of the room of the cafeteria.
Sounds about right.
As some monstrous being begins slurping into the room. It looks little more than a pile of flesh. Grotesque, abnormally long arms pulling it along. It's got no face, but a large mouth descending out of it. As it begins moving through this room.
Just aimlessly, or does it seem to have noticed us?
It seems to be heading in your guys' direction, but you don't know if it's actually looking at you or not, because it doesn't have eyes.
Mm.
So it started out in here, or it came through this door and kind of just slumped?
It's coming out from the other side and moving towards you guys.
Sorry, dogs are very upset on my end.
I'd be upset too right now.
Sebastian, what is that?
You're asking the wrong person. As he starts kind of backing up and just maybe we should avoid the cafeteria for now.
It's going to follow us at some point.
Are there doors to the cafeteria?
No.
Well, then I'd rather fight it in a place where I can breathe.
Suddenly, Finwith, roll for me a defense roll, please.
$276.
All right. As you can't see it, I won't say you're surprised because I don't think you're letting your guard down around this thing, whatever it may be.
No. World had it, what's that? Ow! Fucker. Which is just how things keep going after getting a forest,
You suddenly feel a sudden impact against your body. What is your impact armor?
A 1.
It is 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no current shapes.
One second. Admittedly, my knowledge on this is a little spotty because I rarely use it.
Also, Vale, I'm sorry. I sent you the stats for Ishtar, but I didn't know if you needed a gnosis or anything for her.
Nope.
Okay.
I can tell what costs they are by what the status, like how.
I need you
good they
to make a strength roll for me, please.
are. Strength.
Oh no, your worst stat.
Oh no, that's a 21.
All right, it beats you with a 23.
Nice.
What? Oh no.
You all should be very worried.
No.
As suddenly you see Finwith is just kind of like chill, looking over there, kind of, wary but relaxed as usual. You just start seeing like all the furs and everything begin pulling in a direction before Finwith slams into the wall opposite. You take like 5 damage. It's not a lot.
Wasn't very far.
Well, also it didn't beat you didn't lose to it that high, so.
There's a of air.
Or Sebastian would recognize that one.
As it continues moving in your guys' direction, still making bizarre sounds.
Move back. Sebastian starts backing up into the hallway itself.
Lexi
Just
will
being out of
follow.
sight as he just follows the direction.
If this thing can move us, we should probably stay clear of this cafeteria.
I mean, we're gonna have to go through there to go through things. So, if it's gonna come over here, maybe we can just wait for it to get in here. If it can climb. Thinks about the
Or-
weird limbs and psychic abilities and just assumes it can probably get around.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can lead it back into the other room where we can find a normal gravity, normal flooring. And we'll have a bit more room to move.
I don't know. Not too bad. Looks between his feet at the ceiling.
Alright, you guys gotta make a decision quick or it's gonna attack you guys again.
All right. Well, Sebastian, at least when he's been back, He moves like just
Oh.
right there, at least getting some distance between the
Yeah,
door.
like around the corner, back into the hallway, rather than the
Okay.
hallway that leads to the cafeteria.
So you guys are going back towards the observation deck?
That seems like the plan, yeah.
Try and lure it.
Okay. So you guys step back towards the observation deck, giving some room. You guys suddenly see the splinters of furniture impale against the sheetrock opposite of the cafeteria as you do so. And as you guys are sitting on the other side waiting for it to come around, you hear disturbing sounds.
We weren't already?
As it begins crawling into the hallway, unaffected by the gravity. It seems to acknowledge your guys' position in its way, I suppose, that it do. And
It's gonna be a
Sebastian,
weird
I
fight.
need you to make a defense roll, please.
Beans. Can I use a shield?
Yeah, you can use a shield.
I'm definitely using a shield for this. Ooh, that's nice. Very nice. There it is. Okay. All right. That is going to be a 1,500 life point barrier.
Oh, okay.
A damage barrier of 60. I think at least. Let me double check. Wouldn't change too much, but yeah.
I still need you to roll the defense roll part of it.
Projection. It's been a while since I've been in combat as Sebastian. It's 260.
Okay. Instinctively, you put up a shield. And you can feel like pressure on your shield move before dispersing. What are you guys doing?
That's in the hallway now, close enough to throw hands with.
Yes.
And it's equivalently on the ceiling for us?
It is on the ceiling for you guys.
Okay.
Is this? It's gonna
If you
be
guys are
weird.
planning on to attacking, we're going to move to initiative.
Unless you can convince the squalling nightmare. Nah, this thing needs to be put out of its misery. I don't think there's a good end for this fucking abomination.
We gotta
Probably
kick its
going into
ass.
combat.
Yeah.
All right, roll for me initiative, please.
It's doing the fucking Half-Life zombie that are actually cries, not like zombie noises.
I'll let you guys know this thing is rolling garbo today.
Well, thank God.
Everything but the strength check, which I rolled a 9 on. Okay. Starting off with Anastasia.
How fragile do these glass light tubes look?
You have no idea. They're small, but you don't know what they're made of. Unless you want to roll for me appraisal.
Does he have appraisal? I don't think he does. He does not.
Very underused skill in Anima, actually.
Yeah, and every skill has its use. It might never come up, or it might come up all the time.
Like fucking science.
Like
Dawn had
science.
science and you used it once.
Or dance. You had yet to use the dance skill.
Nope. It was there the whole time.
Might as well take out the breaker blade and try to take a hit at this thing.
Okay.
That's a 260 attack.
Okay. It got a 224. So that's going to be a difference of a little less than 40. 30%. You come up and it, as you strike, you come across a shield that kind of projects around it. But you manage to push your blade through before it can fully go through. And as your blade strikes at the creature, it bounces off as this technicolored effect occurs. It needs to make a strength check, though. Oh, no.
You just see it go splat, 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 splat.
It got a respectable 8. I believe your breaker blade hits with a strength of 10.
Hits with a strength of 10, so that would be a 16 strength.
Okay, so you beat it by 8. Woof.
Welcome to Finwith's usual day. Batter up.
As you strike, what direction do you send it?
We're in the hallway, so straight ahead of him's the hallway, so further down.
All right. You send it flying 115 feet.
Well, it's hitting that wall hard.
It slams against the back wall, approximately like 60 feet from y'all.
That's still carrying a lot of momentum.
And
those are really well-built walls.
They're surprisingly well built.
Yeah, they're solid metal.
Well, no, this is sheetrock, as I mentioned before.
Oh, okay, that's right.
As there's like a crater around it. Granted, technically it only does 10 damage still, because it's a G2, but you know. Anima combat.
But hey, sword damage followed by splat damage.
The sword didn't do damage.
Hmm.
Wasn't
Like I said,
enough.
when it struck, there was like this technicolored, like invisible barrier around it
Hmm.
that did not prevent it from being rocketed against the rear wall, though. Oh no, it doesn't even take the damage. Yeah, it's slightly disorientated as you strike it, and
It just starts giggling because it thought it was fun.
it strikes the back wall before beginning to whimper and moan again.
And it's still following the same rules of gravity, still immune to it.
Yes, apparently so.
He's gonna prepare to dodge, just in case this thing attacks him now.
You can't go on the defensive since you attacked this round.
Alright then he's just, that's it for his turn. He's not following this thing.
Okay. Then next we're gonna go ahead and go to Alexi.
Regular sword swing didn't work on it. And I got launched 60 feet away, right?
Yes, so you'll have to take an action to move.
All right. Alexi will run up to it and strike it with the cold attribute of Freesta.
Okay, go ahead and attack.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Oh, at a minus 25 because I had to move 60 feet to get there.
Yeah.
So,
So
that'd be
60...
270, 267.
Yeah. Okay. It got a 180. So that is a difference of 87. Again, you see like a shield kind of like manifest around it, but the blade just sinks through it before it can fully manifest. And you strike against the creature, and this is cold damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Double check something. Okay, yeah. As you do so, you like are pressing your blade against this thing. This thing is just abnormally tough. There's some element to it, and you can see the frost kind of building up of it, but that invisible-ish barrier seems to be protecting it somewhat. You can make another attack at minus 50.
Yeah, might as well. Woof. I hate that roll. $178.
Okay. 178. You strike again, and this time, the shield manifests in time as it's defending itself. You do 170% of your damage to the shield. And then I'll also need another 180% as well.
Another 180 on top of it. Okay.
Yeah, that was from the prior attack.
First one is the 170% is 238.
Okay.
And then 252, so 490 total.
Okay.
Unless this thing is considered a large creature, but I don't think
It is not. It's strangely small, actually. Smaller than your average person.
Okay.
As you can see, as you crack into the shield, it is flexing in a strange way, yet shattering like glass. And it kind of warps to fix itself a little bit, but you're definitely doing damage to it.
All right. One more attack.
Okay, I'm minus 75.
$184 to attack.
Okay, I got a 201. Or sorry, 211. So that's another 180% of your damage to the shield.
$252.
252. Alrighty. So the shield is definitely looking like it's starting to shatter and crack in areas, and it's really taking a beating. As you're doing so, it's lifting its arms around its body, almost wrapping itself around, shivering in place.
Yeah, I get it. You're a creepy, demented child thing.
Next, we're gonna go ahead and move to Sebastian.
Alright. There's not a lot that I can do other than, attack with sword. But hopefully a Lawbringer works.
Feasible.
You finally get to use it.
Finally, and it's, against a fucking weird, distorted child. He's gonna shoot it.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright, it has been a fat minute since I've thrown a sword. Let me make sure all my modifiers are ready. All right, that's a 240 that bumps up to a 280, so I get plus 40 on my projection roll.
Okay.
That is a 1.
Awesome. Okay, roll for me a failure level.
I'm gonna bend luck.
Okay.
Better. All right, that's a 280. This thing also, if it matters, is a plus 10 quality.
Okay. And sorry, what was the projection? I was doing something.
280. Oh, yeah, I gotta put that down.
Okay, it got 215. Oh, no, actually, no, I didn't. It got 267. So the Lawbringer launches at it, and it blasts past the shield, actually destroying it. Or actually, what's the damage?
85.
I guarantee what's 60%. Sorry, what's 260% of that damage?
221.
Yeah, that's enough to shatter the shield, but as it does so, it bounces off that technicolored shield around it. Armor. As it's still whimpering in place. Anything else?
Is it? Did it hit it at all? Like, did it touch him?
It doesn't seem like it.
Dang. I wonder if this thing counts as a supernatural creature. But that is my turn. Just keeping up the shield.
Okay, and we're gonna finally end with Fenwith. It's gonna be an action to move up to it if you want to get in melee.
Yeah, I'll have to. And who else is up there?
Oh, Lexi.
Just like okay. Alrighty. Well, let's try to just put this down humanely. And for the action to move again, it gives a penalty to everything, or does it just eat?
It just counts as as if you had made an attack, essentially.
Okay, so just one less.
No, it's not like one less attack. It's just you started at minus 25, essentially.
Okay, penalties stop.
Unless you're as speedy as the Flash, and then who knows? You might be able to do it in a
Did
third.
you see my initiative? Alright, 302.
302. Alrighty. It doesn't have a shield anymore. Sucks to be this thing.
What's its strength? That's just a counter in mine. I don't have to worry about it this time.
Yeah. Anyway, so it doesn't dodge. You hit it straight on. So that's gonna be 302 minus its armor. 220 percent of your damage.
176.
176. All right. So after you guys have spent the whole turn just wailing on it, round after round after round, not round after round, but one after the other, slamming it against the wall, striking it with enchanted sword, launching a lawbringer at it. Finally, you guys have seemed to whittle its defenses down to the point that your fist goes into it, and it's strangely soft with some chicken bones inside of it kind of feel as you just go
Unpleasant.
A bag of pudding and chicken bones.
It lets out one final death cry before stopping as you have crushed it.
The way Fenwith has his shoulders, you could almost tell if he had had a shape on. He would be hackles up and just flicks a hand aside. Hey, Sebastian.
Yes.
I don't like this place.
Do
Kind of awkwardly shifts his weight back and forth before he takes a few steps back away, still facing the thing.
Lexi's kind of observing what this thing is. Trying to.
It is a fleshy pile of now blood and blubberish skin with an abnormally large mouth.
And it doesn't have magic over or anything. This is just a thing.
Yeah, it has no magical presence whatsoever.
What experiments would lead to this that are here?
None that I know of.
Then, you guys hear. Well.
It laughs. Oh, hold on, I didn't have the voice changer on.
Sorry. The thing has been fucked because voice mod had an update and that fucked everything up.
Yeah.
As
You're
always.
fine.
But you hear a hysterical cackling emanating from a unseen source.
Finn just goes, no, that one wasn't funny. That's just gross and kind of fucked up.
As we're down here, is there anything that way?
Yeah.
Ashton is actually gonna check that place out since the cafeteria, can't breathe it.
You see a large reinforced iron door. And then you see another much more normal looking door in the, I guess what would be your left side wall here. But to the right on the map.
Being upside down is weird. Okay, so that would be right here then.
Yeah, I'll mark it off.
Is there like a card reader that we can use?
No. The door to the right just has it's a normal door. It's how you guys got into the training facility.
How about this one?
I assume it's like
That does not have a key reader on it. It just looks like a giant reinforced door with no handles or anything.
Maybe there's more of the weird buttons and switches that makes that one go. Like the lights.
Well, he'll turn to the other two down there. Oh, I guess Sebastian walked up, so I guess everybody would have been here by now. So never mind.
Yeah.
Looking closer at the body of this creature, how big size comparison would it be?
Smaller than your average human, he said.
Yeah, smaller than your average human.
Maybe like, if you had to guesstimate, maybe like child-sized.
Oh god, I quickly looked for a child-sized chimney.
Mass size, it's a little closer to Anastasia.
Okay.
As that's not an indicator whatsoever of what this thing is.
Alright, so you want to try finding a way through the cafeteria? Or do you want to try this side? I can try, growing wings and taking you guys across.
Let's try this area. At least we might be able to actually go through this area. Save the cafeteria for later.
If we can get the other door open, but this
So
one,
you guys are...
he reaches out and just clicks open the regular door.
Okay. You click open the regular door and you're met by a pitch black abyss. Anastasia, you can see a large, multi-chambered room.
He describes the surroundings for everyone that can't see.
Well, I guess that's one of the ones that didn't light up.
Oh yeah, does it have like a little indicator above this door?
There's no indicating.
Oh, then no idea.
Anastasia looks around the room a little bit to see if there's any plaques or anything that read.
Roll search.
Okay, all I can say is it's possibly one of those three.
That is a 67. Really low roll for me.
Okay. Looking around, you don't notice any plaques or anything particularly. It just looks like there's a room with a variety of hallways kind of coming out through it.
Are all the ways down the other hallways dark?
Looks to be so.
Any doors?
No doors, just hallways.
Just hallways.
You know what would have been down them all?
Do I?
You are haunted by memories of these testing chambers.
All too well.
Any of these worth checking, or should we go somewhere else?
As you guys are deliberating. You hear a variety of moans emanating from deep within this chamber.
Do they sound like they're coming from a hallway in particular?
With the... What are your notices? It's been a minute.
100.
Is this based by sight or no?
No,
Well, I guess not. So
it is.
160.
Minus 130 now.
Mine is 85.
Okay. It's really hard to tell in this room just due to the fact that inside is still this kind of sheetrock walling that reverberates sound really easily. Alexi's generally able to give a direction, but due to his lack of sight, he's not able to point out the direct hallway.
And just to clarify, the lamp doesn't light this room up at all either.
No, you point the lamp in there and it just seems to disappear.
All right. He'll point in the general direction of where you believe that he's hearing it from.
There's a couple of hallways it could be, but due to the inaccuracy of his pointing, it's hard to tell.
You think we should go back, or do you want to deal with those?
I can't see in this room. Might have to go back to the cafeteria then. Your idea of flying us through might work.
I'll try.
You have to see if you can fly, though.
And if they follow us, we can just bottleneck them again.
We should attach a rope to you just in case. That way if something happens, we can pull you back.
You can do that.
All right.
Alexi
am-
will close this door as we leave, though.
Okay. You
Don't
do
need
so.
something sneaking up behind us.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We come back later and there's just all this little scratching noises. Open it, it's the fucking SCP update for Shy Guy.
Oof.
I need to use the restroom. So we can either take a break or I can leave you guys to just chat. What do you guys say?
Either works for me.
I'm fine with just chatting. We normally don't get to chat.
Okay. I'll let you guys chat so we can have our official break a little later. I'll be right back.
Fair.
Hopefully this lack of oxygen thing is just limited to the cafeteria, otherwise this living quarter's gonna suck.
It's not going to be a living quarters for very long, if so.
What do you mean? We all have really high con, right?
Yeah.
Poor Sebastian, we have to make perform CPR on him at some point. His worst nightmare.
All this is pretty bad. This is not a
I think he would rather just die.
He's made progress. He let Finwith catch him, so he's making progress.
yeah, massive drop, possibly injuring yourself or being touched. For once, the being touched didn't seem as bad.
It wasn't that huge of a drop.
Still,
But
Should
yeah.
probably-
he's a man. It would hurt.
I should probably obtain limited needs at some point. It'd probably be very useful.
The moment you jump down or like make an acrobatics check, look over. Oh yeah, I have no trained like athletic skills.
I have athletics.
I don't.
It's not used
I
for
don't need it.
climbing.
Why would I use athletics if I can use my mind? This is the reason. This is the reason why that was a bad idea.
He says that as he was yeeted out of a room with anti-gravity.
Look, Alex, look at what you've wrought on these poor, unfortunate NPCs.
I'm the reason this happened. We get to the end, and it's like, wait, what was laughing? And then you turn, it's Sebastian, like, floating. He was like, I was. This is why I brought you here.
This
And
is
the
my-
worst part,
this
as you turn around, he has a smile.
This was my inner. This was my comedy club all along.
This was a prank.
You taught me humor. I
There's
have evolved.
There's a camera that just floats down. There's a camera there.
The flesh
You have
thing,
been
holding
pumped.
like film equipment.
Well, finally got her comfortable enough. I think she just needs her scratch and post.
She just vanishes on the couch.
It's the fun of having a black cat.
Walking through the house at night has never been so dangerous.
Yeah.
That
I
time,
can't-
it's actually useful because if she's out full body, the very tip of her tail you can see because that's the only pure white on her.
Oh, she does have a white spot.
It's on the very tip of her tail, though.
She's got a fucking like beacon. So yeah, I mean, it's hard enough walking through my house when Ripley rockets herself into you. I can't imagine a black cat doing that. 'Cause at least I can see Ripley do it.
Well, we get to walk through the house at night since I'm on grave shift. It's just we don't get any sleep because she's like, oh, that's when I get to be active and agile and run over everyone.
Yep.
Luckily, the kitten is like completely acclimated to sleeping with Quentin. So if it's nighttime, she's out. But right before it's time to go to bed, boy fucking howdy is she like teleporting throughout the house. Bull rushes into all the furniture. Acer doesn't do anything because he's a big old man.
Ripley gets real excited in the mornings when people are waking up. She really likes it. She also periodically checks on me face to face. She also, yeah, she just gets so excited sometimes, and she just keeps bonking her head on her glass door, like our back door. She just keeps fucking bonking it.
Can't wait till she grows out of her kitten claws.
Yeah.
wait for her cat tree to get in.
Yeah, cat trees. It's very nice. Like, she spends way less time in my room now because I have a cat tree. Because her bed was right there, but now it's out in front room, which is good. I mean, good for her. She has her own little spot for it. Though she's also at the window right now. So.
I can tell.
You know, we're cracking up while we were in combat because every now and then you just have this beam of light appear because she was messing with it.
Look, Dad, I know lighting effects too. I'm just happy for the cat tree because then maybe she'll stop clawing the underside of the couch because she likes to do the SCP crawl under the couch.
I'm not going to stop. Just warning you. That is Ripley's favorite way to move herself. Just propel herself at high speeds while, like, upside down.
She's doing it right now. I have no hope of ever owning a decent couch anymore.
Oh, hi, Ripley.
Just you can see the top of her head.
All right, Ray, to continue our fun House of Horrors.
Yep, I have emotional support.
So what's the plan?
Have Fenwith shift, fly across, have a rope tied around his waist just in case something goes wrong. And if we can't pull him back, Sebastian can just yeet him back.
Yep.
Okay. So Finwith is going to transform.
Sorry,
Question.
my costs. This one.
Question, how big were the bubbles that were floating in the room?
They were not that big. They were not floating in the room. They were floating due to the disturbance that you caused.
Got it.
All right. Gonna screech owl and try.
Okay.
Just the usual moment of grotesque growth that you guys are either used to or have just learned to look away while it happens. As the wings finally flare out, fluffs himself up for a second, and stands at the edge of the ceiling in this weird off gravity for the wings slightly tuck and dips into room, ready to frantically orient if it does swap, but
Okay. Roll for me in acrobatics.
good thing I have that. 125.
Okay. So you leap into the room and you hold your instincts to let your wings out until the last moment. You feel the shift in gravity. You manage to twist your body and use your wings at the very least to glide as you glide through this room. I'm expecting that if you were told about the quality of the room, did you hold your breath?
Yes.
Okay. So you coast and glide across the room before landing.
Well, the test was to see if he's able to fly, like in that air.
You seem to be able to catch air, so.
Okay. So, tests it for a moment, sweeps to the other edge, clicks on for a second before he turns with a thumbs up.
As you flap around and everything, you see these distortions in space the kind of oily texture. A slight bubble appears and goes towards the ceiling. And you hold your thumb up.
If he goes to the other side and steps into that hallway, like landing for a moment, is the air feel the same way in there, or does that end?
So you're stepping into the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see a long hallway, and it feels relatively normal. You don't see the same distortion effect, though.
Okay. Test a small breath.
You let out some air. Inhale. Seems to have worked.
And he turns around, does the same maneuver, though a bit better now that he knows what to expect, and is going to start ferrying people.
Okay. It's, I mean, mostly not necessary, because you can just set them down on the floor and they can walk across the room with little problem.
I thought you had to go back up.
The whole climbing thing.
No,
No,
because
no, no.
the gravity
Wait.
swaps back over, so you can just walk through the hall. Alright, so then the fucking wings weren't necessary. We could have just...
Yeah, no,
climbing
on the
gear
other
down.
side, it was normal air,
It was
gravity.
getting back. Yeah. Okay, well, useless. Don't need the wings. Too late now.
Keeps us from taking
I
the fall.
misunderstood. Yep.
Yeah, I apologize. Normal is different in this place, I suppose.
That's okay.
So.
It's only the second time I've wasted a shape. You're
But yeah,
all
once, you know,
gently set down.
you set them down, everyone's able to kind of cross at their leisure. And once you get to the other side, you seem to be in a normal section. And normal as in, you know, no fucky physics changing, hopefully.
All right. Looks like we have a lot of options to choose from.
Oh, Alexei, you notice that your lamp goes out.
Well, I don't have the lamp. Fenwith technically has the lamp.
Oh, I apologize. Then Finwith, you recognize that in this area, your lamp just burns out for some reason.
Check it for oil, I guess.
But we can breathe, so...
Maybe just lack of oxygen, like snuffed it out.
Except you guys can breathe.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Any rooms you remember in particular?
Yes. So, there are 2 bathrooms over here. And you know that there's a series of rooms. Sebastian's was all the way towards the back of the living area.
Towards the one you just marked.
No, this is an L junction.
Okay.
Back here. So, your room is down that L junction and then all the way to the back.
I remember where I stayed.
Should we start there and work backwards then, since it's familiar? Or should we just check every door as we go?
You can check every door.
Probably don't want anything. Yeah. Surprising us from behind. If we get distracted. Like that, yeah. Here we go.
Stepping out from one of the rooms around this area is another fleshy being, though this time with no arms, no face, just long legs that drop down to exceedingly wide and flat feet. Though flat in the sense that like the toes, which are elongated to, about 10 inches each, are sprawled out over a wide area. It is currently about 80 feet from you guys.
Alexi readies Freesta.
Anastasia prepares to counterattack if it comes at us.
Yeah, as soon as it doesn't, it'll affect Fenwithel. Ready to engage, but she's not gonna. Well, honestly, it's gonna attack with its freaky fucking mind, probably. So there's no point waiting for it to get closer to counter.
Sebastian launches a sword at it.
Okay. Then
Okay,
Fenwith
yeah.
moves forward when you go to strike.
Jesus.
Jello has wares if you have. Ah!
You can leave. Too pleased with yourself.
180 bumped up to 240, so plus 30 on my projection. Okay. That is another 280 on my projection.
Okay. The Lawbringer zips out and impales this thing, sending it flying back a few feet before it collapses to the ground, and there's just a gush of blood.
The Lawbringer just wiggles out, shoots back towards him, cleans itself, and sheaths itself. Let's check these rooms.
Okay, where do you guys want to start?
Close one. Right there.
Okay.
The bathrooms.
Yeah.
I'll make sure nothing's hiding in them.
I've played enough games. There might be loot in there.
I mean, honestly, most games are like, go check the bathroom. Here's a bathroom, and you can go check in it, and then you go check it, and there's nothing in there unless the developers are like, ha, you think it'd be funny if we put a single turd in one of them?
I actually, come to think of it, the only time I've ever found anything in a bathroom was from Bioshock.
I was about to say, there's a recording in Bioshock, and then you get attacked immediately after.
Yeah. Maybe there's some audio logs that we have to find.
All right, we'll go find the most fucked up audio log you'll ever listen to. And find whatever, hidden trigger you have.
Going into this bathroom, you see a line of dirty liquid kind of ebbing out from beneath the door.
You sure you want to check there?
Not but he opens the door.
All right. Opening up the door, you see the entire room is filled with a reddish brown liquid at the bottom. And you can see many of the stalls and you can see that many of the stalls have like a section of the bottom of them missing with some weird kind of melted marks on the bottom. And it's just a messy, a very messy soup on the floor is the best way to describe it.
A slurry.
A slurry.
That's a nasty word.
Just close that door back out. Don't see any like
Yep.
key items in there. Just
I didn't see the flashing red light of an audio log. Click.
Just so you know, in that room, the pH values are completely swapped. So water becomes an incredibly dense acid.
oh no, the shellfish.
Not only that, if you guys went into that room, the water in your body would have swapped as well. And
Oh,
you
no.
would have had to make a physical resistance check or melt.
Oh no,
Yay.
Jesus fuck.
You want to try bathroom number 2?
You know,
In for a penny, in for a pound.
maybe Cameron's trying to get us like, oh, don't go in the bathrooms, it's dangerous. But the second one has really good stuff in it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a legendary weapon in there. Go ahead and crack that shit right on open.
Crack the door open.
I think the more important question we didn't ask is there a key card on the counter in here?
No.
Is there a pistol?
No.
This is the worst game of SCP Laboratory. What garbage spawns we keep getting.
Second bathroom, you as you open the door, you see the sink is has exploded due to the water turning to ice. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh hey, Lexi. Found a little bit of Hoffman away from home.
He just kind of smirks.
The rest of the stalls look unaffected.
All right. Well, there's nothing else that catches his eye. Moving
It's gonna
on.
really suck if like your room's got some weird thing going on and like we step in and just all just like a fire or something. We get like turned inside out. Fenwick
Alright.
has been waiting by the room next to the bathroom too. We'll open this one.
Okay, so you're ready to go on to the next room?
Yeah.
All right. So you know, in that bathroom, heat has dynamically opposed itself. The hotter something is, the colder it gets, and vice versa.
Jesus.
So room temperature water is actually freezing water. Freezing by a wide margin as well. If Alexi went in with his ice armor, he would have burst into flames.
Oh, that's the one you had ignited.
You're kind of right.
And the Freesta becomes a fire sword. That'd be great.
Does the effect end right once it leaves the room?
Oh,
Dang.
actually, no, because I don't know. The other thing wouldn't necessarily turn it back.
It's
It'd just
like,
be on fire then.
yeah, because like, what if we're fighting something? And it's like, oh no, it's ice resistant. Just Alexi runs on down, sticks his sword through, and then runs back and attacks.
I don't think it works like that.
Probably not, but you know.
Well, that room changes it. It doesn't necessarily have to change it on its way back out, because there's nothing in this room that's resetting it.
Other than the fact that the sword normally emits cold, so.
I don't know. It's Anima.
For all I know, there's a fucking like heat transference chart. They'll tell you how long it takes
Oh
for
my
something.
god, I opened the door. We'll be here
Anyway,
discussing fake Anima rules forever.
and just so you know, effects don't take place until you are essentially considered in the space. So essentially, when it's already too late. You just gotta hope that whatever effect there is obvious from the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Opening this door, you see a room, not very flashy. There's 2 sets of cots, a variety of footlockers. Sorry, not cots, but bunk bed cots. As this room seems to house 6 people approximately. The room seems to be in relatively untouched condition.
Is it just beds in there? Is there anything else?
Footlockers.
Is it worth going through all the equipment places, or should we just go to your room for that?
Do I remember what was like standard fare for those footlockers?
Typically, they had a several sets of clothing for you. And that's it.
Primarily just clothing. At least we should just check every room and make sure we're not attacked.
Okay. And I'll turn and go to the next doorway.
On your left or right? I guess technically left would be the next.
Yeah, whichever doorway's first.
Going in, you see a room that everything has a mirror-like finish on it. Similar to the other room in relative layout, but every surface in this room is covered in a chrome-like mirror substance.
Let's go inside it. That's kind of weird looking at.
I'm sorry, the room has a what?
A chrome-like mirror surface.
Gets distracted, like playing with the light just a little bit, watching it, the effects, and finally just. Anyway, walks over to the other door on the opposite side.
Okay, that room was incredibly interesting. Objects all repel light in that room. If you guys went in, you would have become blind, as your eyeballs would have reflected all light before they even entered. You also would have all appeared very mirror-like in Chromie.
That's
Like
the
that.
holographic Fenwith card.
It's like that episode in SpongeBob.
It's more
Fenwith
like
would be the hardest collection to get all the pieces of, because you have to get the holographics, not just of him, but of all of his shapes.
Yeah.
I just have this idea of us turning into Metal Mario from like the very first Smash Brothers.
Opening the door to this room, you see a quivering mass of flesh completely filling the backspace of this. You can also see the odd hairs growing out of it in a variety of locations. No eyes, no mouth, nothing. Just a fleshy looking wall. Though it's not a wall, because at the very least you can see it. Kind of the cuts in this room are pushed into its material.
Does it look capable of movement?
I mean, no.
Pained, laborious, quivering,
Yeah.
and not much else.
Was this the room that the thing popped out of? I know it was like 80 feet from us, but
No, it actually walked out of the chrome room.
Should we? Do you still wanna? He kind of points at the Lawbringer, just in case there's something left of it.
Hey, Fenwith, make for me a defense roll, please.
Ah, well, there we go. $275.
Okay. Make for me a strength roll, please.
18.
Okay. As you're talking and like talking about doing this, suddenly, Fenwith, you feel yourself being dragged into the room as some kind of attracting force is pulling you towards this fleshy wall.
Grabs for the door jamb, and like the wings like flare out to also like help bracket his body against it, and
Okay.
just
Go ahead and make a dex check for me real quick. DC 12.
okay, yeah, that's a 14.
Okay. So you manage to brace your wings out and grab onto the wall. You're being pulled with an incredibly strong force, but you manage to avoid getting completely sucked into it. But its effect is not stopping.
Can he grab the door and just close it shut?
No, you're like hanging onto the door frame,
Okay.
being sucked into this room.
Alexi will try to help pull Fenwith back.
Organic psychokinesis as well.
Okay. Go ahead, Alexi, make a strength check. And Sebastian, go ahead and make a potential roll, please. Okay, Alexi, as you pull, you cannot break this force. It is incredibly strong.
Is a 240, 2,000 pounds. I can lift at a flight value of 10.
All right, 1 second. Unfortunately, this is just kind of weird Anima rolls right here. So I gotta, let's see, 2,000 and 240 check. I'll compare it to the inverse of impact. Though it's a level 2 or 3? 2. No, unfortunately. You can't seem to break whatever force is pulling Fenwith, and it's getting stronger.
Yeah, he stays
and
braced, and he's
stronger.
like, "Can you just maybe, I don't know, stab it?"
Launching the Lawbringer.
Okay, go ahead.
He's also like half ready for it to let go at any point and to just boom backwards from the force of holding himself this way. He's going to overcompensate at some point.
Okay, that is 198. That bumps up to 240 plus 30 my projection. 280. 280.
280 to hit or potential?
On my projection.
Okay. It strikes for how much damage?
85, and did the last thing I kill? Oh, no, I cleaned it. Never mind.
Yeah. You
You did say I
actually
cleaned it.
specifically said you did.
Yes.
And so it's 280% of the damage.
238.
Okay. The sword flies through, stabbing into this fleshy wall. You can see it begins to bleed, but it still seems to be alive and quivering.
Shit.
Alexei will accumulate.
Fenwith, make a strength check, please.
$15 again.
Okay. The force seems to be ever increasing on you, and your grip begins to slip. You slip past the door frame and grab onto one of the bed frames. Fortunately for you, these bunks are welded to the floor.
He just spiders around it as best he can. The talons come up and kind of like hook it around some of the metal. Just tries to lock his grip.
Okay.
Another sword blast.
There is a oof as he hits that, though.
Alexei is
And once
also
again,
gonna launch Frostlender.
winded
Okay.
a second time.
And you can feel your wings are being very painfully pulled back in a way that's very uncomfortable. As a strong, almost gravitational force is just pulling you deeper and deeper in.
And this is just specifically on Finn, none of us else can feel the gravitational pull from the doorway.
None of you do, no.
That on my potential that bumps up to 280.
Okay. So 280% of damage.
No, that's sorry. That's I'm still rolling out. Just get my pluses. I made my projection roll.
Oh, okay.
Potential.
Please specify.
I'm sorry.
You have 3 things you roll for.
No, I'm sorry. It's been a while. Okay. 280 again.
Okay. 280% of your damage.
And does this count as a supernatural creature for damage?
It does not.
The 4 attacks are 251, 235, 221, and 298.
Okay. So 250% of your damage, 230% of your damage, 220% of your damage, and 290% of your damage. You guys might be able to detect a trend.
While all of this is going on,
Oh, this is a big wall. Is it considered a huge creature or no?
A large creature, sure.
Okay, large, so doesn't trigger the other ability.
while all of this is going on, does anything seem to be attracted to the noise from this coming down the hallways?
There's nothing you can see at the moment.
Uh, 350, 322, 308, and 406, respectively.
Okay. you begin blasting it with a bunch of damage. Sebastian launching the Lawbringer in and out of it. More gushes of blood, or I guess in the case of the Frostlander, it freezes in areas, and you can see its skin begin to painfully crack from the cold. It is still alive, still throbbing, but you guys are doing a good amount of damage to it.
Hmm.
Well, seeing as he can't shadow attack this thing, Anastasia may as well attempt to go in and try to attack this thing, since nothing seems to be coming down the hallways.
Okay, so you're gonna enter into the room.
Yep.
Okay, you enter into the room. Nothing seems to happen. You go up and attack it.
Yep.
Okay, so 210% of your damage and 190% of your damage.
And the wall needs to make a strength save. I'm just kidding. That'd be hilarious, though.
It is fastened in place.
Okay, 273 and 247. Given it's a wall, I don't think the impact's going to make too much of a difference here.
All right, 2 giant gashes. It begins to gush blood. It's seeping down and pouring onto the floor. Still alive, still throbbing. If I know, roll for me another strength check, please.
Got a
Damn.
10 this time, so a 21.
Nice.
Hopefully this one doesn't have a 23.
You begin to fight against its force, and you begin to manage to get some leeway. And you manage to pull yourself back as far as about the door frame. Each step, each pull is just agonizingly hard, as it feels like you're pulling tens of times your own weight.
Yeah, he only stops where there's like a good enough hold in case he falters again. So
That's fair. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's like
I know.
different levels. Yeah,
That's for my narrative.
fair. Okay. So, what do you guys do?
Alexi will rush in to attack it.
Really rather not touch it.
Attack.
Okay, you guys. See, it's a little bit closer.
Plus 40 of my projection again. Damn, I really need to get fucking Inhumanity.
You really do.
I heard something thunk. Time to do a kitten check.
It's gonna be another, I think, 280% of my damage.
Yep. You guys can assume this thing just has no
Yeah.
defense. So just tell me the
Okay.
damages.
238.
$392, $280, and $308.
$299 twice.
All right. It is bleeding heavily, gushing blood. It seems now like pulsing, like almost like a heart, and blood just squirts out with every pulse. Still not dead.
Looking pretty roughed up though.
It's looking pretty messed up. Fenwith, roll for me a strength check, please.
18.
18. All right. You lose your grip again, sliding into the room, grabbing the bottom part of the bunk at the floor as it just was. It feels like you're hanging off the side of a skyscraper at this point.
Hooks an elbow around, like jams an arm, flicks a wing as far over one of the bunks as he can. Just more points of contact. Just another wolf of
Some piece
air.
of hide or leather that you have that's not necessarily a trinket falls off your body and kind of hits this wall as everyone who's near can see the flesh begin to crawl over it and begin pulling it inside.
Oh, this is exactly what I thought I was gonna do. Hey, you guys gonna kill it? Like now? Please? As he like looks over his shoulder at Anastasia, who's over there fighting it, not being pulled into it.
Working
Really
on it.
bizarre to see.
Another barrage, I guess.
Another set of attack.
Another blast. Yo, I rolled a 100, so max is out.
Cool, guess you'll get another 280 again then.
Yeah. Yeah. 238 damage. God, one of y'all's got to teach me key.
It's okay. Alexi's not like a master or anything.
I'll get my new fancy psychic powers in this building, and then right afterwards, just like, man, I have my like abilities. I just want to go further beyond my capabilities, you know? And Alexi's like, I got you, bro.
There's my volley.
Okay.
There's one as well.
Okay. With this final salvo of swinging blades, piercing strikes, and debilitating, freezing attacks, the wall begins to just droop and almost melts, moving towards you all in a very slow, blob-like fashion.
You.
Finwith, you no longer feel like you're being dragged towards it.
Yeah. The wings drop back down. He unhooks himself from the bunk and then has to, like, there's like a small, like, flurry of the wings as he flicks himself away from the spreading across the floor.
Seeing his free, Alexi will definitely step away from this wall thing.
He steps out of the room quickly as it starts moving in his direction.
You know, Finn will take a moment to stretch out the wings, rotate them. He's kind of numb out to pain, so has to do like a moment's check to make sure he didn't actually like tear anything before he resettles the wings.
If this was reality, those wings would have been fucked. But it's not. So
Yeah,
you're
no,
fine.
absolutely. It's fine. I'm made of starter stuff, like, you know, magic.
Yeah. Magic and anime.
Magic, and I have stat points.
It's funny to consider that Sebastian literally has the power of anime and God on his side.
Once you guys kind of are out and kind of resettling yourself, you guys hear a bit of motion. And from 4 of the doorways, more of these strange creatures begin walking out. All of them whimpering, moaning.
Really appreciate it if you guys didn't try to hurt us, but cracks his neck. You won't be hurting for too much longer.
What do you guys do?
Might as well put him out, otherwise these things are just gonna keep getting in our way.
Hope
I
that
need y'all to roll initiative.
hope that one of them isn't requesting their big toe.
Almost the exact same initiative as last. Finwith has the curse opposite to Vernalis' blessing. Rolls garbage initiative compared to her.
That's true. For now, it's like rolled 18 between 18 and 20. I don't think
On almost all of her initiatives, she was always ready to throw hands. Finwith almost exclusively rolled initiatives 30 and lower. Which is a shame. It lets people kill steal.
Oof, there's a fast boy in there.
All right. You see one that appears human-like, though horribly stretched to the point where they had to duck out of the room and step out. You can see each of it's horribly emaciated. The bones are kind of sticking out. You can see the ribs have been downturned and are facing towards the ground, like some gravitational force just pulled this thing along. As it steps out of the room, out of its room, and notices y'all, it's going to focus on Anastasia. Anastasia, I need you to make a defense roll.
That's an open room.
It's gonna be a nice counter.
Yeah, but I didn't set up to counter. That's the downside.
Yeah, it's a
As
set
long
up
as
to
you
counter.
haven't attacked, you can counter. If you have your attacks up, you can counter.
I was a 322 dot.
Okay. You begin to feel a pressure on your mind, but you reflexively move, and it disappears.
Cameron was drinking water again. Poison.
I
Should
honestly
have drank
haven't.
Coke.
Just the phlegm. Sebastian.
All right. Actually, depending how well I roll, doesn't really matter too much. I'm gonna use my ballistics. I'm gonna divvy it up a little more because I want to make sure I have defense just in case. Let me check the value. Something. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna use 100, split 100, and then 20. So 100 for my ballistics.
Don't forget your advantage that allows you to add stuff.
You had
You can
5
add.
per, yeah.
Yeah. All right, that is another 280 on my potential. I get add plus. Well, I'm going for an area attack, so that means I have 125 feet possible. As the Lawbringer just kind of like moves to the front of all of us and just starts like spinning rapidly and just starts moving down the hallway.
Okay. 125 feet, you said? That's going to hit them all.
How would I've only done the area attack once. That was at the beginning of the campaign. How do I do this?
Well, you don't take the penalty normal, I don't
Yeah.
think.
It depends, because I think it specifies in the ability what it does.
You just don't get the projection bonus, right?
Because I think I get to pick one or the other.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So no bonus, but you do hit the area.
Then my projection.
We just hear, yeah.
All right, and that's another 280 on the projection.
Ouchie.
Okay. So, you do that. The blade begins to spin rapidly, and then it just shoots down like a buzzsaw down the room at an insanely fast speed. Let's see here. Gets a excuse me, 163 for its shield. That's going to be a difference of slightly under 140, so 130. And then what's the amount or what's the quality of the weapon?
Plus 10.
Okay, and no extra armor penetration.
Nope. Other than the quality.
Okay, So A takes 70% of your damage.
59.
Okay. So it flies by one of the gross, low hanging ones to the floor. It's got like hair jutting out and a giant eye and a big beak like mouth and large frog like legs. Takes a serious amount of damage from that attack. Doesn't die. B gets a 152. So that's going to be a difference of a little under 130. Wait, I think I did my math wrong in the last one. Oh, well, whatever. I don't even care anymore. 152, difference of slightly under 130, so 120 reduced down to 6% of the, or 60% of the damage.
1.
What was that, Alex?
51.
Okay. As this large spider-like flesh orb with legs made of fingers takes a large amount of the damage. Let's see here.
Just like a horse.
C
Finger legs.
gets a 175 for its defense as it tries to avoid the long boy. That's going to be a difference of 105. So that's going to be 100% of your damage.
85.
85. You cut long boy in half as he hits the ground. Reaching out before passing out due to loss of blood. And D. It's about the same story. D was a large, butt-shaped kind of cranium with an incredibly tiny mouth and two black beady eye holes. And you just sever right through it. And there's just a meaty chunk hits the floor.
They're all just children cosplaying bloodborne monsters.
Oh no.
Very effectively.
As this one. Alrighty. With that, we're going to go ahead and move on to Alexi. There's 2 remaining. C and D are dead.
All right. Well, A is the first one, so he'll head for that one first.
Okay.
That is a 286.
Okay. This one open rolled its shield. So it produces a shield in front of you, and you do not enough to do damage to the creature. You still do 280% of your damage to the shield, though.
392.
392. The shield takes a massive crack.
Attack number 2. That's going to be a 346.
346. Okay. It got a 162. So that's going to be a difference of 180. And how much does your sword penetrate armor?
Freesta is a plus 15 weapon. So 3.
3. Okay. So that's going to be 130% of your damage.
182 damage.
So as you hit the shield, you bring your sword up and you come down with another crashing blow. It is trying its best to defend itself, holding small little frog-like hands over its head, crying and whimpering somewhat. Slashed and bisected onto the floor.
Ugh. He looks kind of sickened at this, but he'll go and try and hit the other one now.
Time for Flesh Spider.
.243.
243. Okay. It seems incredibly slow to react. The fingers not making great legs, as you would imagine, as it botched, cough, cough. A shield comes up but is nearly useless. A 120. So that's going to be 120 minus that. So that's going to be 70% of your damage.
.98 points of damage.
All right. As this one just crunches to the floor, completely bisected, cutting off some of the fingers, and it's just a bloody mess in the hallway in front of you all. They're all defeated.
Delicious. Slurry.
They popped out of all these rooms, didn't they?
All the revealed rooms, yeah.
Just in case Anastasia will check that one final door in this hallway that hasn't been opened.
Okay. You see a room that's strangely rotted. The walls are made of a sheetrock material, but with the variety of pits and divots in it, it looks like the wall rotted away. And a lot of the metals in this room have also rotted.
Stand out of that room. Nothing in this one.
That's
So you
one
know.
way to check it.
Organic and inorganic swap properties. Or inorganic material slowly rots and ages away.
Fenwick just carefully steps over the mess. Upset little noises. Obviously dislikes having to deal with these things, given the guest origins. But we'll take a look into the next room down.
The next room down seems to be nothing but a standard room. And sort of the two after that. The one at the very end of the hallway. You look into this room and you're startled by an appearance of yourself, like you're looking into a mirror.
Do they look just as startled?
Yes, as it's a mirror.
Had to ensure it's not a clone.
So wait, does the mirror just start like right there, or is it just?
It seems to at the threshold of the room. Yes.
So, which one was yours, or is it down the corner?
Not even further.
I don't like how many of you they had.
Lexi will go like pick up a piece of one of the creatures, walk over and like toss it at this mirror.
Okay. You do
See
so.
what happens.
It disappears like Mario 64, just warbles.
Should be fine poking your head in there.
Nope. Goes and picks up a longer piece of the creature.
You put your head in there, you'll go to bomb on battlefield.
And then tries dipping it and seeing what happens.
You do so. The space warbles.
Pull it back out.
You feel no
Yeah.
resistance. Pull it back out, look at it, nothing happens. You guys do keenly remember, these things seem to be immune to the variety of effects that are in this place.
Mm.
It's just
Oh,
shove
Sassy.
him in there. We don't. I don't do that. It would laugh.
Sassy.
But no, it doesn't. It's fine. Go ahead.
Sassy would just look and not see his reflection, just the armor. The rest of him's missing.
Man, what a pain. Especially if you live in, like, you have to look your best constantly for all the other nobles you can't see.
Alright. Well, under the assumption that these things are immune to stuff, he'll take out a torch and try dipping that instead.
You do so. Warbles. No resistance. Pulled out. Seems fine.
Don't know if I trust this.
If you're planning on jumping in there, you need a hand to hold, or we're gonna keep going.
I think we should probably explore the rest of it first. I was just checking.
Okay. You guys continue. So you know, that room, space has inverted. If you would have reached out, you would have touched your own hand.
Oh, that's fucking
Unsettling.
That's weird.
I just realized it. That's so sad. Finn was just like, just alone. Nobody's cuddly in this party. This is the closest I'll get to human affection. Bunch of bastards.
You see
No,
two
I
more
get out.
doorways at the end of this long hallway to the right.
Fenwith will open the one before his.
Opening of this one, you are met by a horrible sight as the entire room is coated in dried viscera. Some of it hanging in strings from the bunks and the ceiling.
He like half opens the door, like looks long enough to see if there's anything alive in it, and then just closes it again. If you thought the bathroom was bad, you were wrong.
One more.
Would you like me to open the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Opening the door, you see a room that is forced into a spherical shape into the surrounding bedrock, as if something at the center just suddenly expanded. Everything is crushed, and even the bunks, you can see the metal is just pressed paper thin flat against the walls.
Opens the door a little further. Did anyone on your team have this ability? Just show Sebastian.
I don't think I did.
It would
Not
have
to
been
this
years
degree.
after.
Nothing this extreme.
Looking into the room, a flood of memories comes back to you, despite its obviously changed appearance. Just thinking of being in this room now, somewhat confronted by your past. Make for me a psychic resistance check, please.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I was already gonna make my own little fun check here. So now it's actually real. Alright, plus 90. $131.
Okay. Looking into this room, you can feel stress building in your body. Just everything that's happened here, all your trauma. If you have, or if you can, just give us some flashbacks of time spent in this room.
Lots of just nights filled with just room full of people, but not a word is said. No one's talking to each other. No one's acknowledging each other. It is just the place where you sleep and the place where you store your things. The only sort of talking they ever did was if there was a mission that they had to plan for and it was necessary. Otherwise, talking was just a way to increase your likelihood of being double crossed later. Then there were certain nights where just one person wouldn't come back, depending on how a training day went, sometimes two. But annually, over the course of a period of time, the population of these rooms changed pretty drastically. A few empty bunks that were then just reduced. By the time Sebastian left, there were 3 people in this room.
As you're going over these memories, a strong sense of paranoia begins to fill you. You become paranoid of everything, but most especially of your party. As the stress is building up, your head begins to throb painfully. And so everyone observing, you can see sparks of electricity emanating around Sebastian as he appears to be in pain.
He's like touching like his forehead, just in pain as he moves his hand, just an arc of just blue electricity, like connecting from his forehead to his fingers, sapping off to a wall.
It's an odd noise, half between like a noise of inquiry before it like trills just slightly. Sebastian, do we need to go? You don't look good.
He tries to right himself, but still electricity arcing off of him. Kind of moves his hand down and it arcs from his fingers onto the floor, spreading out and dispersing.
Don't shift back a little to give you more room.
As quickly as it comes, the power disperses.
Then he does what he always does. After just a second, like looking down, a few breaths, he composes himself.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
You don't have to be in the right.
What was that?
You don't have to be. You know that, right?
Is he still feeling his strong sense of paranoia?
You're still very paranoid. You
fine.
gain a temporary disadvantage paranoia.
Kind of eyes you a little suspiciously. A look you've received a lot when they were back in Skogenjäger. He doesn't see anything of use in the room though.
Okay.
Oh, that was a question. If he doesn't say anything.
Oh
useful.
no, everything in that room is flat as a pancake. Actually, more so.
Curious if you could even move anything in that room, actually.
You're free to try.
I don't have a psychokinesis strong enough for that. The only heavy shit I can move is people.
Nah, the room has very don't come in here vibes.
Which is why we should go in there. Leaps in, swan dive.
And it's just the beds and the footlockers that are smushed against the wall, or is there anything else smushed against the wall?
Nothing else seems to be smashed against the wall, just the furniture.
We just see you go into a wall and then like hear the cracking of bone.
But kind of rights himself and it's everything in this area. And he'll begin heading back towards the cafeteria.
Okay.
Does he
Yeah.
allow people to follow him?
You can follow if you wish.
Okay.
It's a long, awkwardly silent trip through the hallways back to the front of the cafeteria.
Yeah, he doesn't
Then
look
that's
back.
not sulking. He would never do something childish like that.
What do you do? You're at the front of the cafeteria.
Oh yeah, we're able to just walk in now.
Oh, yeah, the gravity effects is gone.
There was
Well,
no gravity effects in the cafeteria
yeah.
to begin with.
Yes. Just hold your breath while you're going through, and be ready once you hit the hallway on the other side to go. Whoop.
Possibly
And
having to climb up to this area too.
psychokinetic flight.
No, because yeah, okay. Blah.
He's ready to drop it once he gets to the where the gravity effect is.
Okay. Holding your breath, you make your way across, not really waiting for anyone. Get to the other side. I need you to make an acrobatics.
$11.
All right. Without any assistance or anything, you go in. You wait, trying your best to time it so you can just turn it off when you
Then
feel
he's
like
halfway
the
through
gravity.
saying your name.
And mistiming it a little bit, you're flung into the wall. You crash into the ceiling, and you guys hear a loud pop, and the lights go out as he smashes into the fluorescent lighting.
You alright?
Fortunately for you guys, there's still plenty of light from the remaining lights in the hallway.
Damn, there goes my shadow idea.
Do I take any damage from this?
No, not necessarily.
Just kind of gets up, wipes off his coat, just yes.
Alright, well, go forward a bit. I don't want any of us to accidentally bump into you.
He does.
Are you shouting this across the cafeteria?
He was already giving you guys space. Like he was getting doing his I'm continuing on, but taking my time, not acknowledging you guys are following me.
Well, no one else is currently upside down, so they're either in the cafeteria or outside the cafeteria.
That's fair. Lexi will begin making his way across.
Okay.
And he'll wait at the end of the cafeteria.
And with heads across.
This is Anastasia.
Orients again with wings. Huffs irritably at the oddity of.
Okay. We've been through the song and dance. You managed to get everyone over. Easy enough. Set down into the hallway. Now that you're done with this entire area, I'll tell you the cafeteria inverts the breathing qualities of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Funny enough, if you held your breath long enough, you would just start using the carbon dioxide in your body and be able to breathe indefinitely without breathing.
I'm sure that would be a very terrible and odd situation, though.
Well, yeah, you feel like you're suffocating up until that point.
It's the same way they have that liquid that you can actually breathe the water. But unfortunately, it has a very, very bad reaction with your body, which is like, oh, we're drowning. Even though we're getting oxygen, we are drowning.
Also, fun enough, if you acclimate completely to the room, then go somewhere else, you immediately pass out as all the carbon dioxide in your blood causes your body to shut down.
Terrible.
This is a fun place.
Very fun place.
But Finwith kind of hikes a thumb behind him towards the observation deck. Do we want
So
to
you guys are going to the observation deck?
go back and check the other rooms? See if we can find a way to turn on the lights.
Right,
Though
because
the lamp didn't work, so I don't know if turning on lights anywhere else would work. That place just may be dark.
We can at least try and see if there are activators for the lights.
Or a way to open the big door. Maybe not. We'll head on back down. Test the opposite way.
Okay. To the opposite way, there's another key card reader. You set it in, and it opens up to a completely dark chamber. Strangely, though, the lamp works in this one. Oh, I totally forgot. So the hallway that led to the individual sleeping areas, right? It prevents the chemical reaction for fire to combust.
Thank God none of us use fire magic.
Yep.
It's just been like fireball and then nothing.
But yes, you guys can see the beam of light shining into the room, what it appears to be another part of the training facility.
That's through here.
Yes. There's honestly nothing on the map there.
Oh.
Take a look around for anything useful.
Looking around.
It's
You
not
just
night
see
vision.
similarly a series of rooms and hallways leading into different rooms. But this time the lamp works, so you guys can all actually make out, at least within the range of light. The owl eyes help, the screech owl eyes help as well. Unless you didn't give yourself dark vision.
No, he get dark vision.
So.
Yeah, I got that in the acute senses. So I guess
Do you
for the
guys-
notice, keep in mind that has a bonus.
That's right.
But all right, should probably stay closer together though, just in case there's more of those things here too. Though, is this the side where the people working would live, and the kids on the other side?
Have you ever been down like this hallway?
This is another training room
Okay.
in general. You've never seen where everyone actually lives. You've always assumed that it's probably through that big reinforced door, you know, protecting themselves from you guys. But you know that there's essentially 3 main training facilities, each giving a variety of different kind of mostly interior based training specs. The first one, the one closest to your the living area for you guys, opens into a very tight, narrow area where there's lots of blind spots, lots of hallways, lots of tight quarters. This is training area 3 that you guys have just entered into, which you've actually never entered in through this way. You always went through chamber 1 and then went to whichever chamber you were requested that day. Your whole lives were essentially in this section of the building. Beyond the training rooms, which are all in like the upper part.
Yeah.
But training room 3 gives a more realistic, like open building section. There's a lot of like closed off rooms, alleyway kind of sections, cross sections. This is for like if you were to be infiltrating a like a city section, more or less.
Is this the training room where that one event happened? You know, the one he relived?
Yes.
Boy. This one is another training room. I am unsure of where the researchers slept.
Okay, so since it's a training room, there shouldn't really be much in here.
You know that's very wrong. There's lots of things in the training room. This is where those droids that shot bullets at you mostly lied.
You remember those machines I told you about as we entered?
Oh, yeah, no, I meant, like, there's nothing here that we can get out of it. I mean, except shot, I guess. But I don't think we're here to get shot.
You're not.
Was there another room off the lobby that we missed, or those doorways?
No, this is the server room. You guys turn the power on. Officer, you got all the file cabinets. And this is just the giant lobby room.
Okay, it just
hallway
looked
that
like there was, like,
leads
slight, like,
Yeah, I know.
difference. Okay,
I know.
I'm just making sure.
It was the program I was using.
Okay, so, maybe we mess around with the boxes like we did with the, lights. Maybe one of those will open the door?
Maybe.
So you guys go back to the observation deck?
Sebastian just kind of gives it like a long look, just like looking inside, but follows.
Okay. Going in, all the variety of screens and keyboards. Wait, are you guys going to the server room, or are you just
Observation
fucking
deck.
around?
No, it's just observation deck.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
We
thought
already
we were going to
fiddled
go.
with the server room. No, he was saying fiddle with things in the observation deck like we did in the server room.
Okay.
Gotta pay attention, say.
Well, I mean, the last thing we fiddled with stuff in was the server room, so that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, but I just said to you guys, so you're going back to the observation deck. So, anyway,
But
if you guys want to, you can go to the server room.
Probably anything left there. You can try just fucking smacking our hands on some keyboards and seeing what happens.
oh, I can use the stick and see if he kind of gestures around. Maybe I can figure out how to use them. He kind of points at the dead stuff. Maybe their spirits are still here.
Maybe. Feel free to try.
I guess that counts as trying to get science.
I think it used academics, wasn't it? I can't remember exactly what the item said. Would have to reread it to me, or I'd have to look up where I sent it to you. It's been too long.
It's 100 bonus to a knowledge roll, regardless of what it is, I guess. So.
Oh, then yeah, sure. Technically, it could go to science.
All right, then Fenwith is going to focus on the walking stick and try to figure out how to use the facility controls.
All right. Heading to the campfire as you always do. You're soon confronted by the profile. Looks mostly human. They seem to be sitting in some kind of chair. Go ahead and make your science roll. Plus 100.
So, you know.
So,
only
essentially,
bonus.
with 100, yeah.
It's definitely not going to be anything else. 140.
Okay. The spirit speaks. Observation controls are more or less easy. When the system boots up finally, it takes about 25 minutes, give or take. You're going to hit the command function. And depending on the variety of tasks you want to do, there's a lot of commands you can type. The operation manual should give you a list of the codes and their functions somewhere underneath the main hub desk. Other than that, you're going to want to hit, and it goes through a variety of very technical terms, a lot of which none of you understands what they're referring to.
Sebastian does his best to absorb and memorize all of this as Fenwith talks.
Yeah, like it may go over your heads, but it's not even going to be in Fenwith's for it to go over.
And if it comes up, Sebastian's got a decent memorize skill, so should be able to.
Fair.
Well, the problem isn't memorizing. The promise is you don't know what an actuator switch even is.
Yeah.
Needless to say.
But we don't know. We also can't figure that out. So anything could be useful. We just don't know.
Yeah, which is why he's trying to memorize
it. Once Fenwith is done, you snap back to reality. You are met by a room of confused or highly focused looks.
Looks over. Oh, blasted head. Is that any of that useful? I got some right. I did.
You got something. What the hell's a control function?
Sebastian is already investigating the central hub.
Time to check under every desk.
Apparently, there is a book that we can look at, I guess. Or manual, I guess is the actual one.
Without needing to spend too much time, you do find a very thick manual. Pulling it out from underneath, you open it. The page you turn to is full of a bunch of jargon and information that makes absolutely no sense to you whatsoever.
Yeah.
It might as well be in a different language.
There, I don't know, a fun little diagram of what the control desk looks like with a key telling us what all the buttons are.
There are some. There's a variety. The control panel, for the most part, is, imagine an expanded keyboard mixed with an audio mixing board, mixed with what you would expect a thermonuclear plant to have for one of its chamber controls. On top of a variety of screens that are currently two of them are black. One of them is showing what appears to be a flickering set of images of the training facility. Training facility 2 you recognize, which is open field practice. And by open field, I mean there's large spaces of wide open rooms where the floor has been manipulated to act like urban, like hillsides and such. The largest of the 3 chambers.
It also just metallic floors are covered with fucking fantasy astroturf.
Fantasy astroturf.
Nice. Sebastian tries going through what the guy said. At least the beginning part sounded like just a routine thing to do. Didn't sound too
I
complicated.
mean, it is for someone
It
who's
is.
operated a computer before.
True.
How boot up system?
How do you boot up a system?
There's no button that says control or commands.
Boot up.
Does it not have like a key like the other thing did somewhere?
I'm sorry, Val. I know you're trying so hard not to use the knowledge that you.
Yeah, he's just like, maybe there's another rune thing. There's gotta be a list of what the runes mean, right? Fucking keyboard symbols. Finwith is trying. That's all he's got.
There's like no guide to what certain symbols mean anywhere in the book, in this manual, or anything like that.
Nope. Because at base level, at least, the manual seems to expect someone to know how to operate a keyboard.
Yeah, this is computer 301. We need computer 101.
Yeah. Sebastian just kind of looks over the keys, trying to find on button, lingering a little bit on a button that has 4 rectangles at slight angles, but keeps moving on.
He just throws up his hands.
I do want to imply that all a Black Sun uses Windows.
As you guys are doing this, the center screen seems to flick over a scene somewhat disturbing as you see a large set of ice crystals jutting up out of the astroturf in a variety of places, as an entire section of this training area seems to be covered in ice.
Yeah, I'm not sure we want to go in there if those things are doing stuff like that.
Or that could be where they're located.
I guess we didn't get the word ice. We got cryokinesis, so never mind.
Yeah, one of the stasis kids. Ice was her primary function. She was the last one to be put into stasis, as far as the incident reports went. And that's training area 2?
Yes.
We still gotta find a way through the big door, though.
It sounds like we'd have to figure out how this works to open it. There might be a command
I'll
for
allow you guys to roll an intelligence roll.
sure.
I think
The
observation
DC
dice.
will be 15.
All right, this is possible. It's not likely, but it's possible.
For Finwith, who does not know the letters of Southerners, it's gonna
Nope.
be a 17.
No, it's fine. I rolled bad.
I'll
That's
give it
not
a
happening.
shot, but I'd have to make a 10 to do it.
I got a 10.
That's 7. I know nothing.
No, I did not make it.
Come on,
Rolled a
Alexa.
12 total.
Damn.
I rolled a 7.
Unfortunately, never operating such a device before, randomly pressing buttons does not seem to work in any form or fashion. Looking over the book, you see something that says along the lines of stasis axis, but the variety of function, or the variety of things you need to do it seem to elude you all.
Couldn't you just do the thing like you did upstairs?
Wouldn't it be safe
Pointedly
for them?
looking at Sebastian.
I can try.
There's like the 5th Windows error noise in a row, and finally Finland just like gives it a kick. Just shh. Quit clicking that one button. It keeps making that noise.
It's like ba-ding, ba-ling, ba-ling.
It just, the owl ears are so sensitive. He's just like full body cringes. Finally, he just backs away from the fucking computers.
Someone's like pressing a button and it's just like, what is a sticky keys? What does that mean?
Fuck the sticky keys. Everybody gaming ever.
Yeah.
No, I don't want the fucking sticky. God damn it, you tapped me out.
At least Clippy didn't show up. Or maybe we needed Clippy to show up. I'm not really sure.
I can
Clippy
see you
would
need
help.
some help.
It's like you're trying to do some unethical science. Can I help with that?
I would love to make an abomination in the eyes of God.
Yeah, Sebastian can try. We can return to the big door. Sebastian kind of taking the front, doing his best to not take fall damage as he goes in there.
If it doesn't work, maybe Anastasia can like do the mist thing and go through. Try to open it.
Or maybe there could be some sort of, I don't know, thing to activate in that one room that's dark.
I can see in the dark, and if I missed into there, if something tries to attack me, I can just come back through the door.
That door leads to the training rooms, the first ones.
Yes.
So I don't think they would put a way to open the door to their part in your part.
least be a way to activate the lights. But he does continue down to see if he can shatter the door.
Okay. Go ahead and make a potential roll.
How long has it been since I last did all this? We got in here.
Since you guys just got in here,
Yeah.
it's been a few hours.
Cool. Got my second points back. Because I'm going to use one. Alright, shatter. Using it for the plus 20. Alright. That is fucking garbage. Holy shit.
When Anastasia looked in the dark room, was there still like the bulbs on the top of the ceiling? They just weren't lit or something.
They were there.
You didn't notice them, or at least didn't pay attention to them.
He assumed they were there, they just weren't on.
I got a 153 bumping up 180. That's 120 physical resistance.
I can't wait for it to be able to reflect mental powers, because this is like supposed to keep mental powered kids out, and it just destroys you.
I shatter myself.
Okay. The rules in this game.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I do have to roll. It's fine.
And the mention of your flashbacks made me realize we didn't do the lamp at any point where Finwith won, so I still have like all those little dream figments like just tossed in his notes somewhere.
All right. For this, 120 is what you said?
Yes.
Okay. It got a 69 on its physical resistance. So that
Nice.
means it fails by 51.
Yeah.
It does 5 times the failure level in damage. I believe I was just looking at it.
5 times the check's failure level. And if it's special quality, I don't think it is, but has a rule for that.
Yeah, it can reduce the special quality for every 50 points at which it fails. You see, so 5 times. Okay, so the large door, you guys can hear as it's beginning to slowly kind of crumple in on itself. You did a significant amount of damage to it, but you did not break it completely.
Can I try again?
You can.
I will try again. No psychic points on it this time.
Hey Cam, is the cat playing with a toy or is that a cord?
That's a toy.
Okay.
That is her feather toy sticking out of the couch.
Okay. From my angle, it just looked like a black possible cord, so I was checking.
Fair question to ask with a kid about. That is another 180, so another 120.
Okay. Door needs to roll. It got much better that time.
Damn.
Let's see. That's going to be a 116. Not enough for any damage because it doesn't beat the damage barrier. So you try again. The door, as you've compressed and turned it, you kind of reinforced it in some ways, and it's becoming much harder to destroy.
Again, just clenching his teeth, just like pushing as hard as he can.
Okay. As you do so, first roll for me a psychic resistance check, please.
Pop somebody with a spark.
Whew. That is a 170.
Okay. The more you try to do this and manipulate the door, you're getting a bit frustrated, but you remind yourself to stay calm and you center yourself. You are no longer paranoid.
Yo, my character
And-
growth is back.
You can continue.
All right, let's blast this door. I hope I didn't just waste that fucking god roll right there.
To be fair, that god roll helped you break out of your paranoia. So
True, I didn't roll well again.
And now you realize that Finwith isn't trying to guilt you. He's actually just slightly upset.
Yeah.
Seems to be taking it relatively in stride. You're under a lot of stress.
Gotta say, it is fun to try to revert back to how I acted in the beginning of the campaign after all this progress. It's very interesting, process. But that is another fucking 180. I rolled a 10, 20, 30. So here we go. Nowhere but up.
So what was the
Another 120 physical resistance.
120? Okay. It got a 105. So that means you beat it by 15. 5 times 15 is 125. No.
75.
75.
Yeah.
Not enough for damage.
Fuck.
You do not break the damage barrier on this thing on that roll.
After this attempt, stealing himself, kind of just sighs. Has a fist clenched, but teeth still gritted. Kind of relaxes, drops his hand, opens his hand. He walks up to the door, puts his hand on it, and tries to summon up that feeling he got back in the living quarters. See if that energy can come back to him. Yes, he wants to get this door open somehow.
Okay. You place your hand, you try to conjure that energy, but after a few moments, it's not coming to that same energy just isn't coming to. It gets annoying because you feel like you're so close, and the more it frustrates you, the more you feel something welling up inside you. Do you decide to focus on that feeling, or let it go?
He's going to focus.
Okay.
He does in his typical way. Sebastian is very good at figuring out what emotion is welling up and controlling it, and if needed, sometimes isolating it and killing it. He's done that with Lilia's effect. He's ready to do it again, in case.
As you focus on this very stressful feeling, roll for me a psychic resistance check, please.
Shit, one sec.
Thanks, Ripley, for your helping out.
Ripley, I'm really
She's
stressed
giving
out.
power to the dice. She's trying to comfort you. in your
Better help me.
stress. She's Sebastian's therapy animal.
I failed. That's 100.
She's a bad therapy animal.
All right. You, as you begin to stress out more and more and more, the mental strain increases, but you also begin welling up with power as, again, the sparks begin emanating off of you. Go ahead and roll for me a potential roll, please.
Yep. That is Pretty good. $211.
Okay. And just to verify, you don't have any advantages that affect your electromagnetism, correct?
I don't have anything for it. The only thing
Okay.
I would is the thing that bumps it up. But is that only for? Oh yeah, that's only for telekinesis, isn't it?
It's only for your telekinesis, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
so
you got it also for electromagnetism.
I did not.
Okay. The electricity begins sparking from your hand as you place it on the door. You can suddenly feel a strong pulling sensation as your hand is magnetized to the door. And the door doesn't move.
But his hand's still stuck.
As long as you're focusing on it.
The way he figures if it
Oh,
can,
yeah, and you also become paranoid again.
yeah, I expected. If the door can pull against him, maybe he can push against the door. He focuses on this feeling and tries to almost just shoot it outwards.
Okay. Roll another psychic resistance check for me, please.
That's a botch. I got a fucking 2.
Good thing you can't actually botch these checks. So what's it come out to overall?
92.
Okay. You become more stressed out. Your paranoia advances to advanced paranoia, which means the very feeling of people being around you makes you uncomfortable. And you gain sapiophobia? 1 second. Oh, anthrophobia. As being in the same room with anyone else puts you in the fear condition
Oh boy.
due to your extreme paranoia. But on the flip side, roll for me another potential roll. This time at a plus 20.
That's nice.
You're not using the power of friendship, and that's what's fucking you over.
159.
Woof.
Yes.
All right. You begin to... Yikes. Let's see here. Don't think this is good for you, my friend. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
there's definitely like all of us watching as he gets more and more intense, more and more uncomfortable. It's just Sebastian. I think you should
Electricity
stop.
begins to arc off of Sebastian at an alarming and dangerous rate. You lose 4 points of fatigue. And you eject yourself from the door.
Like he goes flying past us, or just like back a couple
It's
feet?
just like, it's like 5-6 feet away from the door. He just
Okay.
flies back and falls prone.
things up, hovering hands, kind of like up and away, but obviously like waiting for permission to help, even though he never gets it.
See, like, being blasted back, looking up, there's just a, he feels that really strong feeling of fear, but he tries his best to hide it as he does.
Composure check.
That is going to be not bad. $190.
All right. From an outward appearance, you seem completely fine.
Internally.
As deadpan
There's a
as ever.
Small sigh of relief
Yeah.
from Finwith.
Internally, you're panicking.
Just kind of like gets up, not really making eye contact.
Are you doing all right?
I'm fine. He says this, but he's not looking at you.
What all kind of damage was done to the door throughout all that?
I would say the door looks halfway damaged.
Like, can we see through parts of it, or is it just like half crumpled in?
It's mostly just like mostly crumpled in. There's not really much you can see through this vantage point.
Do we want to team up and try and shoulder it? Give Sebastian a break?
I don't think we can. Even if I turn bigger, that's pretty solid. And we don't know how far it goes into the wall. We can try and see if it gives.
It's worth a shot.
Well,
All right, I guess y'all roll strength checks.
They're
Would
as they kind of make their way
strength help?
towards the
Help with this one?
Sorry, what?
To which one?
To you, Devin.
Would feats of strength help with this?
Yes.
as they all kind of make their way towards the door. Sebastian just kind of slinks around the corner to get them out of sight, just for a little bit.
$128 on the feats of strength.
Okay, so you can add +1 to your strength.
116 in feats of strength.
You add no bonus.
Okay.
As you guys are all pressing on this door together, you can definitely see like the door is looser now, but it's not giving way. It's a really heavy metal door.
Huh. It doesn't hurt to try. Alexei will kind of look at the two of you. He's like, move back for a second. I want to try something.
He
Alright.
does so.
And he is going to take hold of Tayono Suki
Okay.
and try and strike the door with when he pulls it out with an energy weapon.
Alrighty. You don't have the Iaido, correct? Or Bautza Jutsu?
I do not.
Okay, so I believe it's a minus.
Minus 25, I believe.
I had to double check. 1 second. Because I think I actually had this number wrong for a really long time, so. Let me look. You know, Anima, you could do me a solid by putting these rules in very reasonable locations.
No. fuck
Drawing a
you.
weapon, minus 25, yes.
All right. And then I only have a similar weapon, which I think is another minus 20 on top of it. Let me double check.
Similar weapon, minus 20, so it's going to be minus an additional minus 10 for a total of minus 35.
All right, let's make his 3 attacks. So this first one's going to be minus 35. Oof, I hate that roll. It's 24. 186 for the first attack.
Okay. You do 180% of your damage to the door.
All right, this is that one, so it does 120. Yes. 216 for the first strike.
Okay. As you slash through the door, you find that the blade, now covered in this like ethereal heavenly energy, slices through the door like butter. The door is almost completely destroyed with that first swing.
All right, second one. That will be at a minus 60. So that's going to be a 199.
Okay, 1 second here. I'm trying to figure out if this weapon says makes an attack with this weapon in the same combat round in which he draws it. This is where the rules are going to get a little particular. I don't know if it maintains its properties for every attack after the first attack or not. Guess it depends on if they all count as one attack or not. Let's see. Okay. Rules is written. After that first attack, the sword loses its quality.
Oh.
The weapon is designed as a
fucked it up.
drawing, striking weapon. And one of the few weapons that do energy damage. So
Don't you just have to like sheath it for like what 10 rounds, like a minute or whatever?
five combat turns. So
Okay.
All right, he'll resheath the weapon. As it seemed to have done something with the first strike, so.
Just re-angle for a different slice and then let it rip.
And then strike.
okay, minus 35.
Shame the sword won't let you go full fucking Metal Gear Rising on this door.
Sad. Granted, again, does energy damage,
Yeah,
which nothing resists.
exactly.
I'm gonna do a multi-attack energy build next game.
240.
240, so 240% of your damage.
Oh, no, 240 damage. I rolled in
I see.
205 attack.
I do need the context, but thank you. Okay, this is more than enough. You slice the other way, the door falls to pieces, collapses on the ground. And the chamber before you, looking inside, past all the debris from the door that you've just smashed and sliced, You see a large technological chamber with a variety of these large glass tubes attached to these pipes that kind of snake through and into the walls or into the ceiling. There's large monitors in the back that have these blue screens with a series of names, and next to those names, names. A series of numbers, and next to these numbers are, in big red letters, malfunction.
Well,
Your stasis have a bad time.
I am glad that this at least worked, and he will sheath the sword.
As Sebastian hears the door breaking, he kind of composes himself some more and comes back from around the corner.
Got it. Oh,
As you guys kind of begin to look into this room, we're going to have to end it for this session.
Oh, God.
I hate to pull an Alex, but thank God I'm so fucking tired. I've been up since 7 a.m. I'm failing.
No worries. So we're going to go ahead and do experience real quick. Then we'll let you guys go. So, general interpretation. Not a ton of roleplay this time around. There was some, though. I'll go ahead and give you guys 10 experience points. 3 experience points for being here, 1 for Anastasia. Difficult actions. Yes, opening this door is a difficult action, no matter what method you take. There's no good way, especially for this group, to open this door. So,
You're dumb.
I'll go ahead and give you guys 5 experience points for that. I should remind you all as well. If you have aura extension, all your attacks damage an object, even if it has a damage barrier.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you guys could have just eventually just broken down the door.
Yep. I couldn't have, but
Well, yeah. But you actually did do enough damage to beat his damage barrier, at least the first attack.
Shatter's nice if I can roll well, and they don't
Yeah.
roll.
Good ideas. I'll give you guys 3 experience points. There's a lot of rooms that you made some pretty smart decisions in. Like not
going in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a large number of them, that's a good idea. A more curious party would have melted.
Literally, like at the beginning.
I want that audio log. I'm gonna 100% this shit.
Something in there, I know it. Even if it's just a fucking med kit, I'll find it.
I mean, we were still curious. We were just curious with caution.
As you should have been. Combats. A majority of the combats here were not difficult. These
Just
enemies,
upsetting.
Yeah. Upsetting, and the enemies that provide a different challenge than normal. Regardless, you're all really strong. So you don't get a ton of experience. Let's see, you get 1 for the guy who's just standing in the hallway who you murked immediately. You get 1 from the one that followed you guys through the cafeteria. You get... Let's see here.
4 in the hallway, then the flesh wall boy.
Do we get an extra point for hitting a guy with another guy? Achievement get.
You get 5. So you get... Sorry, 1, 1. So 7 with the flesh wall, because that was actually... An encounter that if things had gone poorly, Finwith might have gotten slurped a little bit there.
No. I chew on things. Things don't chew on me.
But the 4 in the hallway, I'll give you 3 for that. So for a grand total of 10 experience points. You guys murder them all pretty easy. The ones that didn't really seem to do anything to you guys, by the way, were trying to melt your brain, and y'all would have had to make a psychic resistance against a psychic assault. So, murdering them instantly was the best choice. And like most
it
psychic
normally
abilities,
is.
I mean, that's true. But like most psychic enemies, most of their attacks are invisible, and you can't detect them.
And then you get thunked into a wall and go, all right, I mean, you didn't accomplish anything, but fuck you. And then you get unlucky and your brain melts
By the way,
or explodes.
fun fact about a lot of these creatures: they can only detect people or things that have mental patterns or a brain that works. That's why most of them don't have eyes that work.
They're thinking just barely. Go after them.
Beyond that, most damage dealt.
If we
I
discount door damage, probably still Alexi, I think.
I think it's Alexi overall, yeah.
Got a bunch of Texan.
Oh yeah.
Most damage taken. I'm gonna give this to Finwith despite taking no damage. You took hits.
I took 5.
Oh, did you take 5? Oh yeah, you took 5. So.
Yep. Hit a ball.
Finwith.
The most
the
inglorious
utility...
experience I've taken so far.
The utility award also goes to Finwith, transforming flying people into rooms. Just generally helpful today. This session. And your walking stick gave you guys a hint. Granted, you didn't have the intelligence to use it, but
No,
So
We
that'd be-
tried.
It's such a cool magic item, though.
It is.
it is really cool. It's very handy in a lot of places. No face award because no one really had to face anything this time around. Pity award goes to Sebastian because this is like your place and you've really not really been able to do much of anything here. You destroyed a couple
Except-
doors and that's about it.
I don't know. What he's been able to do is have full mental breakdowns, which is very fitting for this being your place.
All my character growth. Revert.
Taking a tick.
Hell yeah. It is a fun challenge, actually. Like, playing with that mindset of, like, alright, back to fucking session 1, let's go.
We need you to stop embracing the dark side.
But it's cool, though.
I
I want to
understand
like,
the Force Lightning is a cool power, but
want to be the guy from Infamous. I want to shoot lightning at people.
Also, 4 fatigue points. I'm sure you're not doing well.
I have 3
no.
left.
Oh, you're at all action penalties, my
Yep.
boy.
Yep.
Not doing great.
those accelerate
20?
really badly.
Minus
I
20
think
and
it's
everything,
20.
Yeah, because that's right, because mine's halved, so yours is minus 20. Mine would be a 10.
I'll double check real quick.
I just
Yeah,
know
it
that-
is, because I have the advantage that halves my fatigue penalties. So at 4 it's a minus 10, at 3 it's a minus 20, at 2
Yep.
40, 1 80.
I knew 4 was the bad one because
120.
Arthur, I can only spend 2 fatigue points until I got the thing that just got rid of fatigue. So,
You try to essentially like shoot the door using a high level electromagnetic ability, and with the potential roll, despite the plus 20, I so graciously gave you.
No, this is his punishment. He's not using the power of friendship.
check, by the way. But I didn't have to roll.
For that one or for what? For what? in
The one
specific?
shoot
Says
the door.
Shoot door.
Shoot door.
You needed to make a 240.
I can do that. Just, if I roll.
If you roll. Not garbage.
Yeah,
Roll like an
unfortunately, you
80.
hit the very difficult, which was 4 fatigue loss for that particular ability.
Happens.
Yeah.
I'm losing fatigue from a psychic thing. Fitting it's here.
Yeah, and you should detect a trend with power in this place.
Yeah.
On top of all this, player nominations and Arcudos.
I mean, obviously, a kudos to Alex for having to do the frustration of like, ah, fuck, I gotta completely take away all the character development. All right, the paranoia is up. Okay, we ease back into the modern time as he calms himself back down. These people, they've proven time again that they're allies. We have decided to put trust in them. Super paranoia.
You have paranoid and then super paranoid ramblings in my notes now. As like while you're going through the whole like
Just fits
in the door,
amazing.
I was just writing what he was thinking in the moment.
Sure, take a player award for your character struggle. This is character progression in some form, anyway.
Some form.
It's more of a stressor to like kind of like key up, getting closer to the end of this little delve.
Finwith and Vale get a player award for great role playing, as always.
Getting bullied by Sebastian.
I try.
Fucking
Well, just describing your actions and everything like that. I think I need to keep reinforcing with groups to narrate your actions.
and
It's easy when you have weird animal limbs and features that are like a regular person says that they're exasperated. You know what an exasperated human looks like is they roll their eyes and maybe like a slight shrug of their shoulders, a sigh. It's like, I've got extra bits to add to it, which is even funner.
also just man, it's very nice Finwith is being like good friend, supportive, trying their best, like, all right, you're in a bad situation, I'll give you benefit of the doubt for a lot of this. But also Sebastian's not fucking reciprocating in any way. Especially now.
He notices. It's okay. He's still trying. One tear.
It's very good.
Unfortunately, Sebastian is immune to the charm advantage.
Yes.
Any other nominations and or kudos?
Thank you for the solidarity of being stupid, everybody. Just kind of as a general sweeping thing. Playing meathead shape-shifting jock with a heart of gold. A little stressful on the I have to be stupid. How to be stupid. And everybody's like, how to be stupid. Jock Squad. There was something that... Oh, yes. I wanted to apologize because I have wings and I could... And like the layout of the cafeteria, both of those completely negated yet another opportunity for climbing gear.
It's okay. I've just succumbed to the lesson that just never pack climbing gear on a character. It's
also, at least Sebastian broke the fluorescent lights in the hallway, so now Anastasia can shadow teleport.
Nope, there's still too many lights.
There's
There's
still too much
only
light.
everything to make a shadow.
God damn it.
There's no way.
The only reason you could shadow stuff before is because there's like furniture there, but not in the hallway. There's nothing there.
If you teleport under furniture, would you be crouch teleport, or would you fucking bonk your head really hard as you teleport under?
He probably would hit his head pretty hard because, if anything, the force of the impact from the armor leaving the shadow, you might have seen the table fly a few inches.
I'm so curious in that dark room if the light is actually on and we can hear like the buzzing, and if we were to shatter the light fixtures above, would it light up the room because it's dark?
Try it next time.
Sounds like the logic of a lot of the other rooms, so be careful.
Speaking of, how are you guys enjoying this place?
Fucking weird, bro.
Finwith isn't.
Sebastian isn't.
I'm amused.
But
Finwith
you as
is not.
players, how are you guys liking this fun
it's
house?
fun.
Yeah.
I like hearing the oh yeah, this is what this room does. If you step in, this happens, and we're all like, oh, thank God we didn't step in that one.
Hey, good job. Your organs didn't liquefy instantly. Thanks, DM. I'm glad my organs didn't liquefy instantly. I wasn't worried about that before, but I will be now.
Fear. Oh yes, this one fucking makes all your skin inside out. All right.
I didn't know things could do that in Anima. Oh, I couldn't. I just decided it. Great.
Oh look, this room turns your blood into acid.
This one's nice. There's no effect. You just walk in and you're like, I'm suddenly struck with the feeling that this room is nice. That's it. Yeah, how pleasant. You leave it. Your entire body combusts instantly. Okay.
I really like the fucking SpongeBob Chrome room. I think it's
future.
Yeah, I literally like that. And then the you're walking in and your eyes reflecting light instead of like taking it in is fucking terrifying, but kind of cool too.
I just picked one aspect of reality, and I'm just like, okay, how do I make it not work?
I liked the carbon dioxide oxygen room switch, because that would have been great if we had all hung around that room and then we just get to the doorway. Down we go.
I like how like the logic like at least made sense in the weird backwards way, because like when you're mentioning, oh yeah, if you just hold your breath, you'll eventually start breathing, and then like I was immediately thinking like, oh, then when you leave, wouldn't you just like pass out of like just carbon dioxide poisoning? And you're like, then you immediately said, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, cool, yeah, that makes sense.
There's a method to the madness.
Yeah, which is what makes this really cool. It sounds like your cat's having a fucking time over there.
She loves playing with our blackout curtain.
So does the kitten. She gets behind my headboard and tries to destroy them, and then meows very loudly for, I guess, my attention. But if I look at her, then she runs to the other side, and she wants nothing to do with me while she's back there. She doesn't want to play. She doesn't want to go for my hands. She just screams at the blackout curtains and tries to climb into them and fails.
We're
Cats,
lucky.
man.
Celesta is really quiet. The loudest thing she does is purr.
Like, give it like a few weeks.
Yep. The baby didn't make a whole lot of noise before either.
Funny thing is, she cuddles, but she's not sure where she wants to sit when she cuddles, so she'll sit next to your hip for a few minutes and then move, sit on your shoulder for a few minutes. Nope, that doesn't work. Sit on your head.
Still figuring it out.
Do you know what Acer does? That. That's all. He's just big and he lays somewhere and then he snoozes.
How are you guys liking the what is it, like Kronesberger or whatever children?
Horrifying. Don't like the implications. Sebastian's not a fan of it. It's not great.
Yeah, Finlet's not a huge fan. See, like, grotesque shapeshifting? Cool, that's fine. But, like, he chooses to do that. He's not getting the I made this life decision for myself vibe off of these kids. So this is a whole lot of these things all need to be mercy killed. Holy shit. Also, I really hope in all of the like fuckiness of this place that at no point like I'm being made to see these things as monsters and they're actually really just children. I'm gonna cry if I leave like a room at some point after we kill a boss monster and they're just regular children. I'm not gonna cry a little. I'm gonna cry a lot. It's gonna disgust Sebastian. He's gonna hate it. But I might get some shoulder pats from Anastasia and Alexi. So
I'm also a sucker for monsters that the noises they make are just like cries in pain. It's very fucking spooky.
Yep.
How you guys like?
It was very good sound effects.
Yeah, you did very well in those. Like I mentioned, like the fucking Half-Life zombies. That's what they are. It's just reversed fucking like cries for help. It's fucking scary.
As is the like idea of the they look like monsters to you.
Yeah. It's I hope my descriptions of them also are just really reinforcing the warped nature.
I pity them and I don't want to step in them when I'm done killing them.
I don't know. Do you guys feel I should go into deeper detail on them, or are you happy with the?
You've been doing good. It's describing what they are without getting kind of grotesque about it.
Yeah.
Because like too much description makes it kind of like gross and just distasteful. Like enough that you get the idea of it and you can fill out the rest in your mind that's fine.
That's fair. All right. Any other kudos or nominations before we end? Sounds
cat
like a good
purse.
ending note to me. Thank you all so much for being here, and if you're still watching, thank you all for watching. We're happy to be back in Anima, and we'll be having another session again. New schedule, of course, Mondays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope you enjoy this fun house of horrors, and we got a lot more fun stuff to do. So, with that, thank you to my players for being here today, and say goodnight, everyone.
Acer,
Nighty
say
night.
goodnight. Acer, come on. Oh, why you gotta be like this?
Good night.
Good night.